The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Saturday morning already again. Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. We're talking about the Rochester real estate situation, and oh boy, a different situation. I imagine your situation changes daily, like most of ours have been, Robin. And now the governor has told us stay at home for a couple of weeks, and that, I imagine, that's going to have an impact on how you do your business as well.
It absolutely does. We are fortunate in the sense that real estate is considered an essential business, so we are not banned from working. So we're basically doing the same thing that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks, and that is we're very careful. You know, when we go to show a house, we have our buyers drive their own car, meet us there. Not necessary to meet at the office ahead of time. You know, we can just meet at the listing, and then we walk through and we just keep our distance. I have my gloves on, I have my disinfectant wipes, my hand sanitizer. So we're just being extra precautious and showing houses to the people who absolutely need a house.
I'm seeing in my mind you carrying this little bucket of supplies.
You should see it. It's different, that's for sure.
And the people you're working with, has everybody been fairly accepting of the new way of doing things?
You know, there are a few sellers that have decided to take their houses, not off the market, but we're able to say temporary no showings. So there are some people, and maybe it's because they're elderly and they just don't want people coming in. You know, so everybody's kind of handling it the way it will work best for their family.
Is this an education process for you and the customer? Do you have to spend a lot of time explaining how this is all going to happen?
Well, most people are pretty in tune because you can't really get away from it, right? It's
yes,
everywhere.
Very true.
Everybody knows. So it is, I have really experienced that everybody is so respectful of this. I had to go to Trader Joe's a few days ago and pick up a few things. And when I got there were two of the store employees waiting in the lobby. One was putting hand sanitizer into the hands of everybody that came in. Reminded me of like when you go to eat on a cruise ship. You know, they're standing at the doors. And anyway, then the other guy was sanitizing the handle of the cart so that as he put it in front of you, it was already sanitized. And then when they were counting how many people were going into the store at a time, because it's not a big store, but the aisles weren't packed and there was, you know, plenty of room around you. And then at the checkout lines, they were keeping people spaced out. So they were just being super respectful. And I think everybody acted like it was second nature. Nobody was like, what's going on? You know, everybody was just like going with the flow and doing what they were told. So I feel like maybe because we live in a medical community, people are pretty in tune to just doing what we're supposed to do.
You know, it's heartening to me. And actually, I feel a little sense of pride in this as well, that apparently there's statistical data out there that shows that Minnesotans as a whole are doing this better than any other state in the country.
It doesn't surprise me.
No.
Does it surprise you? No.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it really doesn't. I actually belong to this Facebook page over in Wabasha called Wabasha Helping Wabasha. And every day I read some of the posts and it just brings tears to my eyes. The way people are just like, what can I do for you? Oh, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do this. And this gentleman in Wabasha, Dean Moyer, he's known by a lot of people.
I know Dean.
You know Dean?
I do.
Yeah, he's such a good guy. Yesterday I caught him live on Facebook and he was figuring out a way that he could do bingo for a lot of the elderly people that are shut in. And I guess you don't have to be old to like bingo.
No, you don't.
But he was sending them to a website where they could print their own bingo cards, and then he was calling bingo on Facebook Live. Isn't that fun?
It is. It's neat to see the innovations that people are coming up with to continue social connections at a time when it's difficult to have social connections.
Yeah, it's cool. And, you know, you feel so sad for the small business owners.
Oh,
everybody
gosh.
that's losing out so much business. And when Nothing But Cakes came to Rochester, we started a relationship with them. I approached her and said, I love to help small businesses. You're new in town. I'd love to help launch your business. And what I will do is I will buy 5 cakes from you every single week, and some agent from my team will pick them up, and then we'll just randomly deliver them to past clients, current clients, friend that had a baby, whatever. So just every week we deliver 5 of these cakes, somebody on the team. So I got a call from Tina saying, geez, should we still do the cakes? Because are people going to feel weird about us coming to their house and dropping something off? And I said, I just hate to stop, because this is not the time to pull the business away from the small business owners, in my opinion. So I said, if she wants to make the cakes and sell us the cakes, we're going to come and buy the cakes. So Tina called her and she said, yes, I'm all for it. So Tina had mentioned to her that I was just going to post on the Wabasha Helping Wabasha website and say, the first 5 people who say, I want a cake, I'm going to deliver a cake. And she said, in that case, I'm going to make extras and donate them. So when I got there, she had 8 cakes for me. So I assumed she was donating 3. And she said, you know what, Robin, I just love what you're doing with these cakes this week, so I'm donating all of them. And I'm like, wow. Amy, the whole purpose was to help the small business.
Now I got to order more of them.
I said, no, I'll be back next week, and I'll just probably order a bigger order next week and do the same thing with them, because it was so much fun to watch the responses. And one response was from a lady working at a group home, and she said, my residents just loved it. They were so excited. They want to know who they can make thank you cards for. It just brightened their day. And another lady said, I would love to get one for my sister. It's her birthday today. And I'm like, perfect. And it's just fun. And one gal was too late. She was like number 10 or something. And she said, if there's any chance there's still a cake, my 13-year-old has her birthday and she's really depressed that she can't be with her friends and family because of shelter in. And I'm like, darn it. So I called the Dairy Queen. They were still open. They were still selling cakes. You can't eat in, but they still have takeout. So I got her a little birthday cake from the Dairy Queen and added her to the list of deliveries. But it was fun. It was fun because it's fun to brighten people's day in this time.
You should have made some Facebook Live videos.
Yeah, but the thing is it isn't about doing it as much as it is just, one gal took my picture and I'm like, oh, great. And she put it on a little page, and a lot of people were like, oh, this is so nice of you to do. I'm like, well, don't give me the credit. It was definitely Nothing But Cakes. All I did was deliver. And really, Scott did the driving. I just jumped out and dropped off the cakes. So it was not that big of a job.
And you're talking about all these small businesses. The restaurants are, unfortunately, they had to lay off a lot of staff because they don't need the wait staff. But the takeout business is working for some of them to at least keep them afloat. And I just pray that this will end soon enough that we'll see a rebound. And when the warm weather comes, we can all enjoy going out to our favorite places to eat. I know there'll be pent-up demand on my end, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, on everybody's. Are you kidding? People are not used to staying home all the time. That is for sure.
No, that is it. It's spring cannot come soon enough. That's for sure.
Well, today I saw a barge. So I looked out the window, and there, going up the river, was a barge, and I said, that is a sure sign that summer's around the corner.
Yes.
That made me feel really good.
And regardless of whether or not we're still enforcing social distancing, it'd become an awful lot easier when you're out in the lawn to maintain that 8-foot separation. We just have to speak a little bit louder as we're talking to the neighbors.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're used to shouting across the yard because we do it all summer long. So it's all good.
All right, we're talking with... Go ahead, Robin. I was going to say we could take a break and continue talking.
That's fine.
Okay, we'll take a quick break with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on Newstalk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is Newstalk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. talking about Rochester real estate. Of course, we talked about everything but that last segment. Robin, considering what's going on, are people still listing their homes?
Well, we are still getting phone calls, and most of them go something like this. Is now a good time to put my house on the market, or should I wait? And that is a tough question to answer. So I just tell people, it just depends on what your timeline looks like. What is your urgency? For instance, I have one family that's in the process of moving out of state. Well, yeah, now's the time to put your house on the market. There's no reason to leave it sit there empty and not be marketed to people who could potentially be interested and want to come take a look. So, it's going to be a different situation for each one, but I did list 2 houses this past week, and I did show 2 different buyers' houses this past week. So I feel like definitely we are not that wild, crazy spring market where, you're jumping from one client to the next and working 12 hours a day. It's not like that. We're spending a lot more time at home. We're spending time on the phone with our clients. We're talking the sellers through what does this look like. We put up signs that say, please remove your shoes. At some houses, we're even asking people to leave their shoes outside. If there's an overhang, a proper place where the shoes wouldn't get wet if it's raining or something like that. A lot of listings have hand sanitizer sitting on the inside table. A lot of sellers, we advise to just leave their lights on, if they're still living there, right? And then leave their closet doors and cupboard doors open so that when we're coming in, the less touching we have to do of anything, the better, right?
Right.
So we can just walk around, keep our hands in our pockets, look at the house with our eyes. And so I tell people, if you are trying to sell your house right now, then I would say, yes, let's get it listed. If you're saying to me, I want to list it in the next few months, then I say, maybe you want to wait. It just depends on, it's not easy for sellers to leave because they're supposed to be staying at home. So if they're going to have showings, that means they're going to get in their car and basically go for a ride.
Yeah.
They're not going to go out to a restaurant. They're not going to go to the mall. They're not going to go visit neighbors. They're just going to be from their house to their car. So that could be a huge inconvenience. And, you and I have spoke about how houses that are in the $250,000 price range, it just goes showing, back to back, right?
Right.
Well, that's great if you can go hang out at your friend's house for the weekend or go stay in a hotel and let the kids swim or go. But people are rethinking that now. They're like, well, where should I go while my house is being shown?
How long does it? If you're gonna, not the back-to-back showings, but intermittent showings. How long does a typical showing take?
Not very long. 20 minutes on average, I would say. So it's not a long time. So if it's just going to be a showing and then they can come back home, and like I said, I was showing houses on Friday, and there were 3 agents lined up outside. So there's cars everywhere because the agent is in one car, the clients are in another car. So there's an agent and her clients, there's an agent and his clients, there's me and my client, and there was an agent and her clients in the house. So the whole cul-de-sac is full of people because everybody had like a 15-minute time slot, but you can't overlap. So back in the old days, we would just overlap. So if we got there and somebody was there, if they were upstairs, we'd take our people in and go downstairs, sort of like an open house,
sure.
Right? But now it's like everybody's being super respectful of the distancing. So it's just a little, but guess what? Everybody was lined up waiting their turn, and everybody was just yelling out their windows at each other, how are you doing? How's it going? And nobody was frustrated or upset. We're just dealing with it. So...
When this is all said and done, it's going to be funny to hear the stories that'll be told because the circumstances you described, I just never even thought of that. That's exactly what would happen. You'd have to have this little parade. Yeah.
And the good news is that those people that are saying to me, should I sell my house now or should I wait until all this has, gotten better and life is going back to normal? Well, all it means is that crazy mad rush that we usually have March and April is going to be, May and June or June and July? Who knows? I wish I had a crystal ball. But I think that those people who are intending to sell are still going to sell. And I think the people who are intending to buy are still going to buy. And granted, right now, maybe not be the right time for some people to buy because right now they might be out of work. But hopefully that's all going to be temporary and cycle through with this virus, and it'll get back to normal.
Yeah, and you have this, it seems like a sure deal that most people who have incomes under, it sounds like families under 150 or even more, are going to get an infusion of cash from the federal government to help them ride through this rough patch. And those who are receiving, still have a paycheck coming in because they're blessed to be able to still work, will
Right.
have that little extra bump to help hopefully stimulate the economy and get things rolling really fast once this whole stay-at-home business gets lifted.
Well, I sure hope it does relieve some people of their pressure, because I think about people who do count on tips, and
Yeah.
I think about people who count on working at their job at the mall that's not now closed, or my friends that have nail salons or hair salons or any of those places. I mean, I feel so bad for those people to be out of work, and
Yeah.
I mean, everybody does, including the government, but the truth is that we have to put our health and safety first. So it's pretty easy answer.
Yeah. You mentioned, we talked last week, that the day, was Friday, was match day, last Friday.
Yeah, the 20th.
So what's happened since then as far as your business? Are you starting to hear from these people who want to find a home in
yes.
Rochester?
Yeah, we're working with quite a few residents, and they are still looking at houses, and I have one guy that's already missed out on two because, believe it or not, Andy, those multiple offers still exist.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, those houses. One thing that I'm seeing that I think is I think it's a positive. I guess different realtors have different opinions on this, but when I list a house, and let's just say the house is listed for $250,000, chances are I've listed it at the very top of what I can get for it because I know what the market will bear. So when an offer comes in, and that offer is for full price, or sometimes people will write an offer for a few thousand over full price just because they want to say, I really want this. I feel like if all the conditions of that offer are good, then the terms of the contract have been met, right? So
Sure.
If you're listing the house and you say to me, Robin, I'm giving you permission to sell my house for $250,000, this is what I want, this is when I want to move, et cetera, et cetera. If somebody writes an offer that meets all that criteria, in my opinion, it's my responsibility to get that thing signed and get that house sold. Now, there are agents out there that advise their clients differently, and they tell them, oh, it's probably a good idea to do a couple of open houses this weekend, wait through the weekend, see how many offers you can get, and maybe you'll get more money. Well, if you think about it, most people who are buying these houses are getting a loan. So that house is going to have to appraise, right? So if the house is priced at $250,000, it's probably really worth $244,000, $246,000, but they know they can push it because of the market. And it's going to appraise there, that's fine. And if it gets into multiple offers or it sells a couple hours after it's on the market, it might sell even for a couple thousand more. And there's a good chance it might still appraise just because we sold in multiple offers or we sold so quickly. But at some point, it's not going to appraise. So if you're looking for somebody that's going to go $10,000 over the price you set it at, just because they will, because they've already lost out on a couple, or because they really want it, or because they're coming in from a different market where house prices are higher and they think this looks like a steal of a deal, okay. Fine. So now you've got this offer that's $260,000 on a house that should have been worth $246,000. Guess what? The bank comes along, it doesn't appraise, and now at the end of the day, you have that to deal with. So it drives me crazy. And when I'm writing an offer and the agent says, well, they've decided they want to wait and submit all offers on Sunday night because, they want 6 or they want 8 or they want 10. You just have to do it because the other side of that is you do what your seller wants or what's best for your seller, and maybe that's what they think is best, but that's where that whole perspective comes into play, I guess. Well, long story short is we're seeing less of that. people are like, okay, if somebody's coming in my house and they write me a good offer, who knows if anybody's coming back tomorrow or the next day or when this is going to stop altogether. And I can't do an open house this weekend, so there's no sense in waiting for that. So we are seeing offers being accepted in general more quickly, and I like that.
And I imagine this is where your experience and your team's experience comes really into play, because that valuing the house correctly is key to what you're talking about.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And when I explain to my sellers, listen, there's a range where your house could sell. And because of the situation we're in right now and the condition your house is in and how well it shows and the marketing we're going to do on and on and on, we are able to price it at the very top of the price range. But keep in mind, we are at the top. So you can expect to get this and maybe even a little more. But then I feel like you're getting top dollar. So if they've been properly educated as sellers, because they're looking to us as the expert for advice. So if they've been properly educated, they're excited when a full price offer comes in. We haven't set them up for, let's just see if we can get 10 or 20 and see how high they're going to go. It's just, I feel like you're adding stress to the seller's life in a normal market, and in this market for sure. So we're seeing less of that. Like I said, we're seeing if you go in with a rock solid offer, sellers are signing them.
All right. We're talking with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, Andy Brownell, back with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. So, Robin, you mentioned you are getting listings. So maybe do you have some you'd like to share with us?
I do. A lot of the ones that are in that hot price range, like I said, anywhere between $200 and $300. I don't have to talk about those on the radio because as soon as we get those listed, we get those sold. But, when you get a higher priced property or a more unique property, sometimes it takes a little longer to get them sold. And I feel bad. It's discouraging for the sellers. And I have one listing in particular that it's just an absolute dream spot. It's located in Woodland Drive. Are you familiar with that?
I am,
yes. Tucked up in there. Such a nice neighborhood, and this particular house is listed at 1535 Woodland Drive Southwest. It's one that just absolutely shocks me that it hasn't sold yet, and I'm thinking it's just maybe still just a little hidden gem, so I want to share it with the world. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
So it's got 2 city lots, so it basically sits on like its own private park, okay? And it's such a short commute to St. Mary's. I mean, clearly if you want to walk to work or ride your bike, that's super easy, and has access to the bike trail there. It's got 5 bedrooms. It's got 4 bathrooms, and it's a mid-century modern house, and it's in mint condition. So it was kind of, architecturally designed for the lot with a California feel. And then some years after they built the house, they built this beautiful big addition, which if you go in there now, you would never know it was built at a separate time. It's got a big vaulted ceiling and all kinds of windows, so it brings the sunlight in from the front, which is southern exposure, and the back looks out at their beautiful wooded lot. The woodwork in the house is just gorgeous, and like I said, these people maintained their house so beautifully. So we do get these buyers who are so excited about that mid-century modern architecture, and I feel like when the right buyer comes into this house, they are going to be so excited.
It sounds gorgeous.
And we've recently done a price reduction, so it is now under $500,000. So I'm sure that's what it's going to take, and clearly I feel like as soon as the right person walks in there, it's going to be gone. And I feel like that's coming soon for sure. It's got a great floor plan, great flow. You come in and it's got a beautiful formal living room right in the front of you, and it looks back through the backyard, so it has great feng shui. And then when you go to the right, it has a really nice kitchen that serves as a graciously connected hub with pantries, a big walk-in butler pantry, and then another pantry. And then beyond that, you can see that room with the vaulted ceilings. So if anybody's listening and that's a house that sounds interesting to you and you haven't seen it yet and you would like to, certainly you can check out the pictures online. Again, it's 1535 Woodland Drive Southwest. Or I'm happy to show it to you because, as I mentioned, I am still out showing houses. This particular home is vacant, so it's very easy to show. And we're not intruding or putting any sellers out at all. So would love to show it to anybody who's interested in seeing it. It's a great house.
It sounds like there's plenty of room for that social distancing.
Oh, that's for sure. And when that stuff is all gone away, there's great space for entertaining.
Wow, that sounds like just a beautiful home.
It is beautiful.
We're rapidly running out of time, Robin, but in this time that we're dealing with, I know you wanted to mention what a great value real estate can be when you look at investments.
Oh gosh, I've had so many people call me and say, I'm watching my money just disappear in the stock market. I wish I would have invested more in real estate. And of course I talk them off the ledge and remind them that it's going to come back. Everything's going to come back. But that being said, real estate is and traditionally has been, and I think will always continue to be, a wonderful investment and a great financial decision. So I'm an advocate for buying real estate, and I would love to help you do that.
And as you have earlier pointed out, you are listed as among those essential services. So
absolutely,
real estate continues to take place even when we are staying at home.
Yep, we're being very responsible and still going to help you sell your house or buy your house on your timeline, whatever is going to work best for you now or wait a while.
And you have all those technological tools, technology gizmos out there that can help too. So if somebody
absolutely
is looking for a home or thinking about listing their home, how do we get a hold of Robin Gwaltney and the Gwaltney Group?
Call my cell phone, 507-259-4926, and really call me with any questions you might have during this trying time.
Fantastic. Thanks, Robin. You have a good week and stay busy.
You too. Talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Right,
Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, Remax Results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.